and just release the pain through taking drugs, or am I going to go out there and start fighting again? So I use this exact method that I'm going to tell you. I sat there and I formalised a plan of how I can go from being rock bottom to the top. And then I transferred all my energy into being a salesperson. And that's how I become number one ever. As I told you, I worked harder than everybody else around me. So this is, I've got it written down here, so I'm gonna recite this out to you guys. And it's a step-by-step plan now. Make mental notes of it, take some of it, and whatever doesn't work for you, get rid of. But anything that works for you, take it on board. First and foremost, guys, before you step into any goal, you need to program this like a computer. You need to program it. Say to yourself, I'm going to go into this goal now, and I'm going to go all in. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it at all. I'm going to program my mindset. I'm going into this goal, and I'm reaching my destination no matter what happens. So you need to make sure you go into this goal. Whatever goal you set for yourself now, if you say to yourselves, now no goal is too big, by the way. No goal is too big. A very famous film producer, I think his name's James Cameron or something along the lines, he said that he sets his targets way above what he thinks he can achieve. But he sets them that high because even if he doesn't hit that target, he's still going to fall fairly close, which is harder than anybody else. So if you dream of being one day a Premier League footballer, set that target. Who said you can't achieve it? Who said you can't achieve that top level? You're all capable of it. You're all human beings, just like the people playing in the Premier League. So step one, well, before the step one, program your mindset. But step one is start with the end in mind. That's what I've done. I actually created a collage of pictures of what I wanted to acquire in my life. So I had a big house on a picture, a nice big house with a swimming pool. I had a picture of, eventually, now my goal is, I had a picture of my fiance that I wanted to get married to. And it wasn't a naked picture, by the way, it was just a normal picture. But a picture of my fiance that I wanted to get married to. And I set myself these pictures that I wanted to look at every single morning. Because any time it got tough and I felt like I didn't want to wake up in the morning, I didn't want to do the hard work, I'd look at this collage of pictures and I'd say, that's what I'm doing it for. I want to acquire that nice big house or a swimming pool. I want to give my future family the life of their dreams. I never want them to go through the suffering that I had to go through. I want to have the nice Aston Martin. I want to have the good things in life. And who's to say you can't acquire that? So have a collage of pictures, and that means start with the end in mind. At the end of your goal, ask yourself, how will you look? How will you feel? How will you carry yourself? And then picture that person standing there and step into that person and become that person. So step one, start with the end in mind. Step two, work out how long your goal is going to take to achieve. Meticulously plan this goal every step of the way. Work out how long it's going to take to achieve. Is it going to take 2 years? Give yourself a time frame so that you know what you're working with. Because if you just have a goal and it's just a goal and you don't give yourself a time frame and you just work your way through it, it's not real, it's not serious. But if you set yourself a time frame, you're saying, I'm going to achieve this in this much time, and that's what this is what I need to do to get to that stage. Step two, have a time frame for your goal. Step three, now for you guys in football, so step three is find out what resources you need to achieve that goal. So for you guys in football, you might want to tell a teammate that you're going to take on the pitch and train with every single day. Or you might need, I don't know what you call them these days, but the walls that you can bend the ball over, the little men that you put on the pitch that you bend the ball over. Or go old school like Beckham did and put a tire up on the goalpost. Whatever it is, figure out what resources you need to achieve your goal. And then you go and achieve it. For me, I was homeless. I just made, in a split second, more money than I could ever dreamed of making. I went to Waterstones and I bought 10 books. I didn't go and buy food. I didn't go and buy a proper bed to lie on. What I did buy was 10 books that were going to educate me, that were going to help me get out of the situation. So whatever it is that you need, find out what your resources are and go and get them. Step 4, and this is the most important step, guys. If I urge you to do any step, this is the main one. Get started. Most people fail because I don't even get started. Get started in your goal. Just jump into it and get going. Just get working at it. You're going to fail. Things are going to happen along the way. Just learn and grow and develop and get started in it. Step 5. Each week, every single week, monitor your success every step of the way. Like when you go into the gym and you bench press 150 and you feel like you're struggling with it, so you push, and then you keep doing it week after week until it starts becoming natural to you. Then you go up to 160, and when you're at 160, you're struggling and you're shaking. And then when that becomes comfortable to you, step out of your comfort zone again and keep pushing yourself. So when the coach tells you to do 10 laps around the pitch, do 15. When the coach tells you to drop down and do 50 push-ups, do 70. Exceed all expectations of you. And I promise you now, if you go into everything with that mindset of always going further than what you have to do, you will become successful beyond you could ever imagine, 100%. Just try it. Go out there and try it. On average, a scientific study shows that on average it takes around about 67 days for a habit to be acquired, for a habit to actually embed into your mind. So that habit means that it's easier to do than what it is harder to do. 67 days. So take this mindset for 67 days straight, and I bet you 100% you will see success. You will be pushing yourself to a new level, and because you'll start seeing success along the way, you'll want to keep going. Because when you feel success, you want more of it. It's like an addiction. I once told a drug addict that was in the same room as me, just change what you're addicted to, and you'll see huge success. He walked 30 miles there and back to get his fix. Change what you're addicted to, I said to him. And I found out recently that now he's clean, got a family, and one of the best people in his company at what he does. He changed what he was addicted to. So have a focus, have a goal, plan it meticulously, and then make it happen. I'm going to finish off, guys, with a very small exercise. So, everybody in here now, everybody, reach as hard as you can. Everybody. Yeah? And now I want you to go even higher. Push yourself. Tiptoe. Push. Now you see that second level there? That, you can drop your hands down. The second level there that I told you about. So when I told you can anyone tell me what's happening in this room right now? Anyone got any comment on what's happening right now other than stretching? I said to you guys, push as high as you can, and you've done that. And then I said stretch even higher, and then you did. That's the zone of success. If you're going to take anything out of today, take that exercise. Anytime you're asking yourself, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to be successful? Do that exercise. And you will know then what you need to do to be successful, because it's that ain't going to get you success, but that is pushing yourself just that little bit outside your comfort zone. You'll hear it time and time again. The difference between success and failure is very, very small. A winning horse in a race, when they go nose at nose at the end of the line, the winning horse makes nearly 3 times the amount as a second horse. But it's just that edge in front. So guys, I'm going to finish this up by saying this now, okay? And take this in now. I dare you guys, I dare you, stand on your own 2 feet. I dare you guys to push yourself that next level. I dare you to get up early in the morning and go for a run. I dare you when the coach tells you to do 10 laps, you do 15. I dare you to push yourself beyond your boundaries. You're all capable of being world class, and that's what I'm going to finish this up by saying, guys. I dare you to step into the elite and become world class like you all can be. Just remember one thing now. Everybody, every single person in this world, successful or not, started with the same process. You were born, and then something had to happen. One thing that someone said to me, which rung in my mind, only recently, and take this on board, he said, everybody's self-made, only the successful will admit it. Guys, been wicked talking to you all, and I'm going to just hang around. And any questions, if you want to ask me any questions about my story, any questions about my dad's story, any questions about getting to that next level, I'm going to be here. Anyone want to ask any questions now, raise your hand. I'm willing to answer anything. Anyone? Or are you all happy with that?
What's your next challenge?
My next challenge is, so when I was homeless, my challenge was to get out of that situation, and I acquired that. And then I set myself the next goal, be number 1 in my field. I acquired that. My next challenge right now, I've got a pictures on my other laptop, and I've got a picture of a big house in Cyprus with a swimming pool, yeah? I've got a picture of, I'm engaged, getting married in June. I've acquired that. I've got a picture of having an Aston Martin. I haven't had that yet. I've got a nice Polo, it's brand new, but I'm going to get an Aston Martin. So, I'm just making them steps. I'm only 25 myself, I'm still getting there. But the things I've gone through in life, I've got the mental age of maybe a 120-year-old man. If you saw my brain, I'd be walking with a walking stick in my head right now. 100%. I've got that mental age of, I've been through it, I know exactly what you need to do. And let me just say something. It's so important. I feel the passion. You probably see how much passion I carry on what I'm doing right now. I care about every single person I talk to. I care about it 100% because you do not want to turn back on your life and live with regret. It's the worst thing you can do. Never have that in your life. You know, people in this room that have already done things they regret. Don't have that. You don't have to have that. You don't have to turn around to your kids one day and say, I regret this, I wish I'd done this way. You don't have to. You've got the opportunity to make it happen now. So just push yourself to that next level. All of you, take yourself to that next level. You're all capable of being world class. Be world class. Okay? Any other questions?
What any decent literature or anything like that?
I'm currently working with a best-selling author on a book. It's going to be launched in March. I'm more than happy to bring that book down for you guys to look at. In terms of literature, in terms of reading literature, not for myself, in terms of success, look at Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. That's one. Look at, this is all mindset stuff now. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. These are all the stuff that I read when I was in a situation. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. I obviously read on talking, so I'm reading about TED Talk right now. Sports people, study David Beckham. Like, you ain't got a better role model than him because he come into this sport without an abundance of talent. So if you're looking for somebody in football to follow and emulate, just watch his work ethic. He went from being a kid on a pitch with his dad to playing for Real Madrid. And you're all capable of doing that. Like, you actually are all capable of achieving that if you put in the hard work. David Beckham got a phone call after all that hard work from Alex Ferguson himself saying he wanted to come and join the club when he was a young kid. But he just believed in himself and he knew what he needed to do to get there. So, in terms of literature, some of the books I mentioned to you there, study the people in your field. So, if you're currently wanting to become a world-class footballer, study the people in your field, study the Beckhams and the Ronaldos, see what they do, and you'll find one common denominator, and that is they all work extremely hard. Now, who's the strikers in here? Put your hands up, who's the strikers? Who's
you got me.
Is it just you? Yeah. If I was you guys, this is what I'll be doing, personally. I'll be going on that pitch every single day after training. Or I'll be going to the coach and saying, I used to be trained by Dennis Mortimer, ex-European champion of Aston Villa, and he went great because of me. I'm telling you, because I used to literally say to him, what can I do to improve my game? What's going on? He sometimes used to say, Kostas, just play. And I'd say, I will just play, but tell me what I need to do to get better.
Can I just interrupt you there, because I think this is a real valid point. And lads, I don't know what you thought about it, but you know there are points in there that are absolutely valid, aren't there? Yeah, it doesn't matter who you are and what you do in your life, whether you're Charlie and spent a lot of time in the game, or whether you're Joe or Harvey or Matt or Spencer coming through at this age, at this level. Right? What I just want to say to you is that years ago, I used to play with a lad that a lot of you will know, a lad called Steve Cottrell. Right? He could not get in Cheltenham town side. Right? He had 4 knee operations by the time he was 22. When I left Gloucester, I went to a little village team called Alvechurch in the Southern League Premier. Very good team. I took Steve Cottrell with me. I gave him £25. Yeah? Now, what you've said today is absolutely typical of why Steve Cottrell played in the top flight of English football. Because what Steve did, at 25 quid a week, he had a vision. He didn't want to be a postman. He didn't want to work for Sharp and Fisher. Rosie, you know, don't you? Yeah. He didn't want to do that. He wanted to be a professional footballer. At 22, he had 4 knee operations. He'd come to Alvechurch on £25 a week. He scored 10 goals in 14 games. he got sold to Burton Albion for £4,000. 6 months later, he went to Wimbledon when they were in the Premiership or the Division 1 for £80,000, along with a lad called Johnny Gill. You might remember him, Johnny? Johnny Gill, big lad, Birmingham City. Yeah, went for 80,000. He was there 6 months, and I got a phone call on a Sunday. And he went, Harry, he said, I'm playing at Old Trafford on Tuesday night, do you want to come? And this is a lad, like you Joey Parker, like you Matt, Spence, Harvey, this is a lad that done nothing other, we trained twice a week at our church, he trained 6 days a week. Exactly what you said, Kostas. Exactly what you said. Because he had it in his mind, he wanted to be a professional footballer. And I can tell you names now, some of you will remember, people like Carl Bayliss, people like Colin Peacey, better footballers than Steve Cottrell. No doubt about it. Had more talent. But what Cox had, he had that desire to be a professional footballer. And I went up to Old Trafford on that Tuesday night, and he told me he was playing. He'd come on for the last 20 minutes. He's nutmegged Steve Bruce, and he's clipped a shot, and let's see, he's tipped it over the bar.